this. So what I have for you today is something very cool if you did not know about. I want to talk to you about when we use our stage decks. Something similar to what you see on the screen here. I've just drawn a couple of stage decks at multi-tiered heights. And you can see here around it is the railing. Okay? And that's what I want to talk to you about, is the railing. What we are used to seeing is something to the effect of this from when we used to do our railing tool. You know, we would go and click on a specific stage deck, and if you scroll down in your object info palette, let me open it up here a little bit more. You can see railing details. So you have front, back, left, and right, and you can choose if you want to put a railing on that deck. And so you would work your way on around the edges, and you would apply your railings, and it would look something like this. Right? Let me go into shaded view here, and narrow view, and it would look like that. Each deck would have a railing that go around it like this, and then we would say that we're meeting our safety standards for railing going around this stage structure or seating area or press box or whatever you want to call this here. But when we look at this in a different view, when we take a look at this in orthogonal, it's like that's what it looks like. And you can see the gaps in between, the handrails, they're not connected. Everything is just totally isolated and independent. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you how to make handrails that look like this over here, right here. How these handrails, as you can see, are now connected and they traverse up with the decks. And there's no gaps, and everything just looks wonderful. And I went all the way around here, as you can see. Complete different look of the railing that goes around these decks. And so there's been some discussion about how do we do this, because this by means is a preferred method of displaying and protecting your guests and your audience when they're on your decks, to have something that's completely connected with no gaps and it represents correctly. So first thing you want to do, if you don't know, is you have to turn on another tool. And a lot of Vectorworks users seemingly don't know this. But if you go into your building shell tool, we did this step in the last video where we turned on our custom stairs. Well, the tool that I want to use today is called Railing. It's a railing tool, and it doesn't exist here in your basic tool palette. So again, as before, we're going to go up here to our tool sets. We're going to click on the three bars, and we're going to click on Custom. And when you do, your workspace editor comes open. What you're going to do up here, just type in the word railing, and you're going to see it highlights every place where the railing tool is. There we go, the railing tool. So we're going to highlight both of these, and we're going to drag these over into our building shell menu. So now they set up top, and we hit OK. And Vectorworks is going to think about it a little bit. It's going to rebuild. And now here we have it. In our building shell tool, we now have railing and railing join. Two tools that were not there before. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I've just created these already, as you can see, and we have no railing on them. They're just standard I just used the stage deck tool. They're all grouped together. I just used the stage deck tool and made varying heights of this area here that we're going to put railing around. And this is a really neat tool because we're going to use it in conjunction with what's called gravity. If you've not heard of this, it is pretty amazing how it works. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that right now. So let me go back to a top plan view here of our stage decks. And we see the railing tool over here. And we're going to click on that railing tool. And of course you have your different boxes up here. What you're going to want to do is you have two modes here. Oh, let me get this to activate. Right there. You have the gravity tool and you have the vertex mode tool. Okay, right now we're going to use the vertex mode tool. What you're going to want to do is you're going to click railing. You're going to go into your vertex mode tool, and you can see that I just have selected railing aluminum post. Now we can change these to any style of stages that we want right now or after we're done. But we're just going to do this initially right now. So we're going to use the vertex mode with our railing tool turned on. And what we're going to want to do is everywhere we click is where there's going to be a vertical post. So of course we want one on the end. And these are 8-foot decks. So every 4 feet we want a post coming up. So this is going to take a minute to get around here, but we're going to do this. So everywhere that I click is going to be a post. So you can kind of visualize this with me, if you will, how this is working. All right, we're just going to keep on going around every 4 feet. This back section will automatically take care of itself. We don't need to do that. But now we're going to come on down the line, making sure we don't miss any of these vertex modes. Clicking to the points here, almost there, and a double click to finish. Okay, Vectorworks thinks about it, and voila, there's a railing that goes around it. Now let's take a look at this. I'm going to go into a front mode view. So what it does is it throws it on the ground down here. Well, that's not very helpful because it's not where we need it to be. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab on that railing, hold down your shift key if you like, so it keeps it in proper alignment, and just raise it up. Raise it up here above your stage decks. Doesn't matter how high, just raise it up. Because remember, when we added this railing, it automatically connected to those symbols of the deck. So they're associated in a way. All right, so now that we have it elevated up in the air above our stage decks, I'm going to take you into this left ISO view here so you can get a better look at what happens. A little normal perspective here. Let's go into shaded view too. Make it look a little easier. There we go. So you can see how it's up above. Now, what is really neat is in the basic tool palette, with the reshape tool right here, you can see the reshape tool. The modes up here, we have 5 different reshape modes. Okay. This one here is selective display of segment mode. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 5th one over. So you're going to select that. Okay. And you can see how our railing is selected. We're going to click on this reshape mode right here. And then over here to your right, there's this button. This is the gravity button. And watch what happens. It's going to drop all of those railings down right on top of those stage decks, right where they need to set. Now it takes a little bit of time. Obviously, there's a lot of math going on here to make all of this connect. And voila, look at that. We have perfectly placed railing. We go into the flyover tool that goes all around our stage decks at the proper height. And you can see everywhere we clicked, it made a post. Everywhere we clicked, and that's what we want. If you only click on the downstage corners of the decks, it's going to make a big gap here, and you don't want that. So by clicking every 4 feet, it's going to give you this look here. And you're going to have a beautiful handrail that goes across the top. You're not going to have any gaps. And it creates a much better looking product for when you're presenting and working with your installation crews, because this is what we want, right? We don't want to go back to this. Whoops, let's go over here to one of my save views. Set up some old looks here, and that's what we used to look like, right there. Just all fragmented and separated by using the stage railing on the deck tool. This is what it used to look like. Okay, not saying that that's wrong. I'm just saying that we can have something that looks like, oops, we can have something that looks like this instead. Right there. Now, like I said, you can change these railings. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to our design layer. All right. So you can see that we have our railing selected there. It's as simple as clicked on our railing. You can see style. Right now, that's what we had selected in the beginning, was railing aluminum posts. Well, you just hit the replace button, and what happens is you get to choose a plugin style. That's the one we had. And it goes into your Vectorworks library or your customs or whatever you have. Okay, that's the one that we were using. You can change all of these settings. You can change your styles. But what I suggest that you do is that you change, or that you start adding your railing in, that you choose the one that you want when you start. Here, let's go ahead and delete it. Okay, so we're going to take it out of there. I'm going to come back into it. And like I said, you're going to go into your railing tool right here, railing aluminum post. I suggest that you start by selecting it, the one that you want, right from the beginning. Let's choose this one here, the one that we just did. And like I said, I'm going to show you what it looks like if you don't click every 4 feet. If you only click every 8 feet, you're going to get those valleys that are underneath, which we don't want. This is just going to take a couple more seconds here, but I want to show you this because this is what you don't want. You don't want it to look like this. Okay, so you can see every one of these places. This is every one of those is our posts, and we selected a new style this time. Like I said, when you draw it, it's going to drop it right on 0, right on the ground. Okay, right there at 0. So like I said, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to just lift it up. And then we're going to go into our basic tool palette. We're going to go into reshape tool. We're going to select display segment mode. And we're going to hit the gravity button and watch it fall. And down it comes. And there we go. Just like that. But I'm just showing you that. Now I want to show you one more method to where you can do this. Let's go ahead and delete it again. Okay, so we're going to zoom in here. We're going to click on our railing tool. Now you can see up here we have the vertex mode, which is what we've been using, and we have the gravity mode. Now the gravity mode is going to save you a step. And that's what's really neat about this. So the previous two we used the vertex. Now let's use the gravity. So we're going to select that mode right there with our railing tool, and we're going to do the same exercise, but we're going to do it in the gravity mode instead of the steps we did before where it dropped it on the ground and then we had to physically move it and then hit the gravity button and then it dropped it into place for us. But watch what happens this time when you just select the gravity button right from the railing tool. So you don't even have to go into the reshape. And that is what is really neat about this. It saves you quite a few steps. Almost there. Okay, there we go. Double click to get out of the tool. It builds it. Now, when we go into a side view, look at that. It's automatically in place. Right there. So it saves all of those steps of having to go into the reshape mode. Let's take another look at this in an isometric view. And we're going to put it in normal perspective. And this is another really cool thing too about perspective that Vectorworks has done recently is this 2-point perspective. I click it all the time. I'm constantly in 2-point perspective. It didn't really do much right here that you can see, but if you're doing like big outdoor buildings and structures, it puts everything in vertical perspective in more of a way that your eye sees it instead of a kind of a warped perspective look. It makes things look better. So always use that 2-point right here. 2-point perspective mode when you're in your isometric views. So there you go. You can see now that we have that railing that goes all the way around our stage decks. And it automatically placed it in automatically because when we went into our railing tool, we used the gravity mode instead of the vertex mode. I just wanted to show you both of those modes and that you have complete options to interchange. So again, from going from this to what most of us for the past years have been using with our stage decks is turning on the handrails. Going from that into, there's a comparison here. That's the way we've been doing it right there. And doing it this new way, you can see how you get railing that goes around your decks, continuous railing. And you can add handrails to the interior of that if you want as well, just by going into your settings and clicking on the railing. And let me show you that. Because if you go back into your design mode here, you can click on that railing. All of your parameters for the railing tool are still there. So you've got just options upon options that you can deal with when you're dealing with this railing tool. You use your post at the start or at the end, turns it on or off. I don't know why you would want to turn it off. But you got plenty of settings to play with here in your railing tool when you click the settings tab. And again, you can change your style from here. It's got a little preview over here of what it's looking like. And you just go for it and have all kinds of fun customizing your railings to make them look like you want them to look. So I hope this gives you a quick little understanding of the railing tool, the gravity tool, how to use both of them, give you more flexibility to show your product in a much better way. Now, not that it's right or not that it's wrong, it's different. And now you can apply this to regular stairs as well. Like if you have a house or landscaping. Not only does this work with stage decks, it actually, I believe it's just designed to work with stairs and the stair tool, but I've discovered that it works with our stage decks. And that is the main thing that I wanted to show you in this little quick tutorial, is that we can have railing systems that look like this. And then you can get as fancy as you want. If you can go and create an animation here, and we're going to just select everything. Go ahead and modify here. Go into your model, create animation. Let's do an orbit around path, and we're going to hit 360 from what we've selected. This is another video that's on my page that I just did a couple of weeks ago as well. Activate the camera view so we can see it here and hit play. Woo! And there we go around. It's a little fast, huh? Well, that's easy. Just go up here and change this to something much slower. And if you want to really go into a deep dive on how to use the animation tools and the orbit tools and such like you're seeing now, there's previous videos on my page that show this. But there we go. I hope you find this valuable and you begin using these tools that I have shown you. And please, if you like this video, like it, comment, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss what I keep posting. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next YouTube video series I have coming out. You're really going to like it. Go ahead and go into my playlist and you can see all the previous videos that I've showed about the stair tools and the orbit tools for when we are designing these elements for our live events. Have a nice day.